Reading from Shrimadbhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 6, Text 27. Evam Krishna Matir Brahman Nasatasya Malatmanaha Kala Pradura Bhutkale Tadi Saudamani Yatha Evam Krishna Matir Brahman Nasatasya Malatmanaha Kala bhutkale
kalah pradura bhutale
tadit saudamani yatha
tadit saudamani
evam krishna mater brahman
evam krishna matir brahman
nasatasya malatmanaha
nasatasya malatmanaha
kala pradura bhutkale
kalah pradura bhutale
tadit saudamani yatha
tadit saudamani yatha evam krishna matir brahman
evam krishna mater brahman
nasaktasya malatmanaha
nasaktasya malatmanaha
kalah pradura bhutale
kala pradura bhutkale
tadit saudamani yatha
tadit saudamani yatha. Mataji, would you like to read? Or should I? Okay. No problem. Evam. Thus. Krishna Mate. One who is fully absorbed in thinking of Krishna. Brahman. O Vyasadeva. Na. Not. Asaktasya. Of one who is attached. Amala Atmanaha. Of one who is completely free from all material dirt. Kala. Death. Pradurabhut. Become visible. Kali. In the course of time. Tadit. Lightning. Saudamani. Illuminating. Yatha. As it is. Translation. And so, O Brahman Vyasadeva, in due course of time, I, who was fully absorbed in thinking of Krishna, and who therefore had no attachment, being completely freed from all material taints, met with death, as lightning and illumination occurred simultaneously. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. To be fully absorbed in the thought of Krishna means clearance of material dirts or anchorings. As a very rich man has no anchorings for small, petty things, so also a devotee of Lord Krishna, who is guaranteed to pass on to the kingdom of God, where life is eternal, fully cognizant and blissful, naturally has no anchorings for petty material things which are like dolls or shadows of the reality and are without permanent value. That is the sign of spiritually enriched persons. And in due course of time, when a pure devotee is completely prepared, all of a sudden the change of body occurs, which is commonly called death. And for the pure devotee, such a change takes place exactly like the lightning, and illumination follows simultaneously. That is to say, a devotee simultaneously changes his material body and develops a spiritual body by the will of the Supreme. Even before death, a pure devotee has no material affection due to his body's being spiritualized like a red-hot iron in contact with fire. And so, O Brahman Vyasadeva, in due course of time, I who was fully absorbed in thinking of Krishna, and who therefore had no attachments, being completely freed from all material things, met with death, as lightning and illumination occurred simultaneously. Om Ajnanatirmirandasya Jnananjana Chalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Tadati Swapratantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahabana Raghunathamitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Kanta Radhakanta Namostute Takta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitana Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Dhamine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Devi Satarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam Bangum Langhayate Girim Yat Kripa Tamaham Vande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Krishna. I welcome everybody to Shrimadbhagavatam class at Sri Devasadan Mandir, the eternal home of Srila Prabhupada and Sri Sri Radha Kunjabihari. I hope everyone is recovering from Nirjal Ekadasi. Dwadashi ki jai. All glories to God indeed. Hare Krishna. So I'm reading from Canto 1, Chapter 6, entitled Conversation between Narada and Vyasadeva. And Srila Prabhupada has provided such a brilliant, illuminating commentary to not only this verse, but so many chapters and cantos in Shrimadbhagavatam. The knowledge contained in these timeless scriptures is all we need to help us achieve the ultimate goal of human life, the very purpose of human life. These books, Srila Prabhupada said, were the expressions of his pure devotion to Krishna, the personality of Godhead. Srila Prabhupada said that the purpose in his books are his devotional ecstasies. These books have transformed the lives of so many countless people We have heard so many stories about how these books saved the lives of people all over the world and gave them purpose. There was one book distributor who was going door to door trying to sell these books of Srila Prabhupada. I believe this happened in India. He did not have any success. Whoever he met, he was being turned down, turned away. So finally, towards the end of the day, he approached the last house he was going to attempt. And he thought to himself, this time I will give my very best. No matter what happens, I will not leave this place without selling a book. So he was very determined to end the day with some kind of success in selling these books. So he knocked on the door and there was no response. He waited some time and he knocked again. Again no response. But he was determined. He had spent a whole day trying to sell books. And he wanted to make sure that at least one person received the mercy of Krishna through his books of Srila Prabhupada. So he knocked again and he waited. Finally, a person opened the door. And in his hands, this book distributor was holding a Bhagavad Gita. Initially, when that man opened the door, he was very annoyed because he was interrupted in whatever he was doing. But as soon as he saw this person holding out a book, he asked him, "What is this?" And the book distributor, very humbly, he said, "So this is a book that can save you from the pangs of material suffering and bring you the greatest joy." As soon as he said that, the man said, "Please come inside." It was surprising to the book distributor because this man who opened the door in a very agitated condition was now inviting him inside the house. So he entered the house. And the man turned around and he pointed toward a room. And when this devotee looked inside, he saw there was a rope hanging from the fan in the ceiling. And there was a chair on the floor. And this man explained that he had been going through a very difficult period in his life. Many failures. He was very dejected. And he had decided to end his own life. He had decided to take his own life by hanging himself from the ceiling fan. And then he said to this book distributor, "I prayed, if there is a God, and if God truly cares for me, then let him send a signal or a sign to save me." And just as he was about to wrap himself with that rope from the ceiling, he heard the door. There was a knock on the door with a person with a Bhagavad Gita. So he said, "You have indeed saved my life. I had prayed to the Lord, if you do exist and if you do care, please send somebody, please help me." And just as I was about to take my life, you appeared. Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna. The man gratefully brought these books of Srila Prabhupada, and it transformed his life in ways he could himself never have imagined. So these books, this is just one story. There are so many such incidents from all over the world where Srila Prabhupada's books profoundly transformed the lives of people and made them the most joyful people in the world. Srila Prabhupada said that these books of his will be the law books for all mankind for 10,000 years, the golden age. So we have here Krishna Kumar Prabhu and Bhakta Emil, who have been traveling all over the United States, making so many sacrifices, tolerating so many inconveniences, simply to deliver this most priceless treasure of Srila Prabhupada's books to all of society. We commend you both, Gurus, and we thank you and we're truly grateful to you for what you are doing for our great mission. Thank you very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Kunja Bihari and his devotees who are getting these books out into the hands of so many conditioned souls. Thank you. It is a paradox. The human species is generally very notorious. We are notorious for not accepting anything that cannot be practically verified through the use of our senses. Many people ask, where is God? If there is a God, why cannot we see Him? It's a common question most people have. Because that is the nature of human beings. Anything we cannot see or perceive with our senses, we refuse to accept. But the illusory energy of Krishna, Maya, Krishna tells in the Bhagavad Gita that the living entity is bewildered by the influence of Maya. And how is that? See, we only accept what we can verify with our senses, and anything else we reject. Yes?
Yes.
But we see, we eat food. Yes?
Yes.
And we chew it, we experience the taste. But the moment we swallow the food, we have no control over it. Even the most expert doctor cannot guarantee that in his own body that the food will be digested. Yes, sometimes people suffer from indigestion. Even doctors suffer from that condition. So in our own body we see from the moment we swallow our food, it goes down the digestive tract. Certain enzymes and acids work on it, break the food down and digest it. But we have no idea at any particular moment what is happening. This is completely out of our control, seemingly automatically. But we have no control over it. And there are three kinds of miseries that exist in this world. Adi Atmic, Adi Bhautik, and Adi Devik. Adi Atmic is miseries caused by our own body. Adi Bhautik is miseries caused to us by other living entities. And Adi Devik, natural calamities like floods, earthquakes, and fires. People live their whole lives believing they are controllers. It is very fascinating because our experience shows we are not controllers. If we were controllers, there would not be a cosmetic industry that's worth billions of dollars. People spend so much money to eliminate the wrinkles on their skin, to look young. But if we were truly controllers, We would never get old. We would never have wrinkles on our skin. And people like me, I would never lose my hair. Yes?
It's practical.
But we have no control over these things. Our experience shows us we are not controllers. Every day we are given this evidence that we are not controllers. We age, we become weak, eventually we die. If we were truly controllers, there would be no old age, there would be no death, there would be no indigestion, there would be no disease. There would be no miseries around this world, either from our own bodies or from other living entities or from nature. Every day nature is teaching us that we are not these controllers. Yet the illusory energy of Krishna, it is so powerful that people live their whole lives believing they are the enjoyers, controllers and proprietors. At the time of death, everything that belongs to us is taken away. Our bank balance, our properties, our possessions, even our family members, we lose it all at the moment of death. If we are truly proprietors, we will never lose anything. And we think we are enjoyers. But for a little, we have discussed this in previous classes. In this material world, the nature of enjoyment is, for a little enjoyment, we must suffer so much. And that enjoyment is only a perception. It is not real joy. A temporary relief from suffering is perceived as joy. But real happiness, it can only exist when we enter a loving, reciprocal relationship with Krishna. Only then can we truly begin to understand what real joy is. Satchit Ananda. The nature of the soul is to be eternal, full of bliss and full of knowledge. In this particular verse that we are reading, so Narada Muni is addressing Srila Vyasadeva. And he said, I who was fully absorbed in thinking of Krishna and who therefore had no attachments. It is a fact that the nature of the soul is to be attached. It is not possible to give up attachment. We must be attached. Either we are attached to our senses or to the things of the world, or we are attached to Krishna. So Srila Prabhupada, he said, we simply take our attachment and transfer it from the mundane things of this world to Krishna. And when we come in the association of devotees, we practice bhakti in the association of devotees. When we read these books of Srila Prabhupada and we read the purports, then we begin to understand what life really is, what the goal of human life really is. Recently we were at the festival, the Sadhu Sangam festival. I saw some of you there. Such a wonderful festival. And coincidentally, just a few days before that festival, I gave the Sunday class here at the temple. So while I was preparing for the class, I was hearing a lecture by my senior godbrother, Gauranga Prabhu, who is the director of the Govardhan Eco Village in near Mumbai. So he quoted a verse, a very beautiful verse. So I was very intrigued by that verse which he quoted during class. So I looked at that verse in the Shrimadbhagavatam. I looked it up and I read the purport. It was an incredible purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada was giving reasons why one must practice bhakti in the association of devotees. And it was incredible because in one purport, Srila Prabhupada gave 6 different reasons in just one purport. So one can imagine how much depth of knowledge there is in this book, Shrimadbhagavatam. If in one purport Srila Prabhupada is revealing so many things to us. Srila Prabhupada states in the purport to that verse, it's actually a verse where Dhruva Maharaj is addressing the personality of God, Sri Krishna. The Lord has just appeared before him and Dhruva Maharaj is glorifying him. And the Lord awards him any benediction he likes. And do you know what Dhruva Maharaj asks for? He simply asks, "My dear Lord, kindly bless me that I may always be in the association of your devotees." That's all he asks. His entire tapasya, for 6 months he had performed the most austere penance for only one purpose, to achieve a kingdom greater than his own great-grandfather, Lord Brahma. And yet when Krishna appeared before him and touched his head with his own conch shell, revealing to Dhruva everything there was to know, Dhruva Maharaj said, "I don't need any kingdom. I don't need anything material. I was looking for a broken piece of glass, but now I have found the most valuable jewel. Please just bless me that I may always remain in the association of your devotees." So in the purport to that verse, Srila Prabhupada writes that bhakti, transcendental devotional service to Krishna, cannot be complete unless one is in the association of devotees. It cannot be relished unless one is in the association of devotees. Bhakti cannot mature unless we regularly associate with devotees. Activities in bhakti do not become distinct from material activities unless one practices in the association of devotees. Srila Prabhupada also says this, that anyone who lives aloof from the Krishna consciousness society of devotees, yet engages in Krishna consciousness, is living in a great hallucination. I will repeat, please listen carefully. Anyone who is living aloof from the society of devotees, yet engages in Krishna consciousness, is living in a great hallucination. And Srila Prabhupada furthermore states that the words we read and hear in Shrimadbhagavatam, they only manifest their full potency when we regularly hear in the association of devotees. And therefore we are so grateful to Srila Prabhupada for not only giving us these timeless scriptures in a way we can easily understand, but also for establishing this wonderful society of devotees where we can come and serve and hear and chant in the association of those who are seeking the grace of Krishna. By establishing temples all over the world, He has given this entire world an opportunity to take shelter of Krishna. So it is said that Srila Prabhupada built a home in which the whole world can live. So we thank everybody that is participating in so many different ways, especially the book distributors, especially the two of you who are distributing these Arabic books. I think it is among the most challenging of all endeavors. Just to get books out to people is a challenge. I've been out on book distribution many times. It is a great challenge. But to be able to sell these Arabic books, I can't even imagine what kind of a challenge that is. But the two of you are making it look quite simple. I do not know how you do that. You must be empowered by Guru and Krishna. So thank you for coming by Michigan and getting these books into the hands of so many people from the Middle Eastern world. Arabic books, Bhagavad Gita, other books. This is among the most valuable service to humanity. Srila Prabhupada himself said, you may speak to some person about this philosophy, but he may not remember it for very long. In a few days he may forget it. But if you place these books in the hands of people, and Srila Prabhupada said, even if he reads one page, his life can be changed forever. That is the potency of these books. So we thank you for your dedicated, selfless service, distributing books far and wide, and we wish you all success. Thank you very much. Yes, but we have a question.
How can we engage more people? Because people, they are coming, but if we bring a lot, like if we, let's say like whole Dearborn is coming to the temple, how we can engage them? Because Prabhupada says, you build a house in which the whole world can live.
Yes.
So how can we do that?
So now your question is, if we are able to bring them here, how can we engage them here at the temple? Well, Devasadan Mandir, Tirthapad Prabhu, who was our pujari and singer, he was once telling another devotee, I was there, and he said, in Devasadan Mandir, every corner of Devasadan Mandir, there is service. There is unlimited service in this temple, and I speak from experience, and other devotees will also testify. There is a lot of work to be done. There is unlimited opportunities to serve. But to actually bring those people here, they must feel valued and loved. The nature of the heart is to love and be loved. That's all it is looking for. My spiritual master, Radhanath Maharaj, he once said that things can give pleasure to the senses, but things cannot satisfy the longing of the heart, because the heart is not looking for material things. It is looking to love and be loved. So we see around the world ISKCON communities that are highly successful. We see they have a community of devotees that have very loving relationships. So when people come and feel loved and valued, they want to become a part of that community. Because that is what people are looking for, to love and to be loved. So where they can find it, they will go there. Because we have our own experience. I got this flip phone a few months ago and I was really thrilled. It's a smartphone, but within a few weeks, it was just a smartphone. I'd gotten used to it. When I purchased a new car, I was thrilled. But within a few months, I got used to it. It no longer provided me the same joy that it did when I first purchased it. So we get used to things and they can no longer fulfill our cravings. After a few weeks or a few months, the joy is gone. Because the heart really is not looking for these things, but is looking for love. So when we create these communities where people can feel loved and valued, they will come, they will serve, and they will practically give their lives for this movement. So that should be our goal, to create an environment where people feel valued and loved and can express their love. I don't know if that answers your question.
Oh yes. Also, this is the point you bring, the love and value. But it's also that I think it's a way I also want to ask the question is that many come, but how we can make that they don't go also because many have come to ISKCON, to Krishna consciousness, but also many have left.
Yes.
So it's like an effort. It's like a useless. It's like I hear something and then it goes directly from the other ear. So it's like the front door is open and the back door is also open. So then.
Yes, well, that's a very good point. In fact, in my time here at the temple also, I've seen that a lot. So many people have come and I don't see many of those faces anymore. Why did they go? Where did they go? Why did they leave? I believe even Srila Prabhupada during his time, he said, the surprise is not in how many of you left. The surprise is how many of you stayed.
Yeah, that's true.
So the expectation is, not many people will stay. Only the few will take this. I think his Divine Grace even said, when you're selling diamonds, don't expect many buyers.
Yeah.
So we are giving this highest philosophy. So only those that are truly qualified will stay. But we need to find a way to make more of them stay. I fully understand your concern, but I don't have a solution. Can I give somebody else chime in and share your thoughts? Yes.
We're limited by this body, so our mind can't perceive how someone is benefiting from Krishna consciousness. So if we're attached to having a lot of friends or seeing people stay, then that can develop like a fruitive mindset. Our goal is to just do pure devotional service and trust that Krishna is God, that He's in everyone's heart. If we have that faith, then we wouldn't worry so much about these things, and we would just focus on doing pure devotional service. Like in book distribution, if you get a taste, then you don't expect anything. You don't expect that person to call you and show up because you experienced the taste. And Krishna reciprocates through taste. So you know that your service the goal is pure devotional service. The goal is not, I do this and then Krishna does that, or I do this and then I have to do this. No. The goal is pure devotional service. So whatever service you're doing, whether it's cooking Krishna, serving the deities, we can't develop this fruitive mindset. Still, we have to do it nicely. And if Krishna is satisfied, these things will happen. This human life is short. We don't know
Nitya Kishore Mataji has taken charge of so many initiatives here in the temple. So if you were here a few months ago in December, right, Krishna Kumar Prabhu, if you look, the walls were all pale and actually dirty. But if you look around the temple room now, it's also bright. Because Nitya Kishore Mataji took charge of this project, and she personally, I saw her climbing up the ladders and painting some of these walls. It all looks new and shiny now. Even without the lights, you can actually see the difference. So all over, even not just even the artwork here. There's a lot of work, these arches here. This painstaking work. She personally painted those and engaged people to paint up near the ceiling. So this whole place is actually coming alive. Thank you, Nitya Kishore Mataji. Yes, we can see that, Mataji, yes. So thank you for taking charge of so many different important initiatives, both Prabhu, Mataji and her husband, Nitya Krishna Prabhu. They lead a lot of initiatives here at the temple. Truly grateful, Mataji. Thank you. Yes, Krishna Kumar Prabhu.
There was an analogy that you used that I thought was very, very nice that I want to use on preaching. It was the analogy of wanting to be the controller, but not being able to, even when eating. First question is, how did you come up with that analogy, and the purpose behind it, to get someone to go beyond their senses to develop faith that there's someone behind this design. Is that the purpose, and how did this analogy come to your mind?
So Prabhu, after I was asked to start giving classes at the temple, I prepare a lot by hearing rather than reading. So if I have to give class in a few weeks, then not just when I'm giving class, but even as general practice, I hear more than I read. Because technology has made it so easy, right? I can go to YouTube and choose who I want to hear from. I can actually search for particular topics I want to hear about. So it's just made it so simple. Technology is, it can be a curse, but if it's used properly, it can be a great blessing. So I hear on YouTube, there's so many videos I watch. And I also hear different devotees speak, not just necessarily ISKCON. I hear other Gaudiya Math Vaishnavas also speak, just to get a different point of view, viewpoints. But of course, all in the line of Srila Saraswati Thakur Bhakti Siddhanta. So, while hearing, there's a devotee called Prem Prayojan. I don't know if you've heard of him.
Yeah.
You've heard of Prem Prayojan? Brilliant speaker. He is the grand disciple, so to speak, of Srila Prabhupada's god brother. So, Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, who gave our Prabhupada sannyas initiation. So his disciple, one of his leading disciples, Narayan Maharaj, who preached all over the world, is glories of Srimati Radharani. So one of his leading disciples is prominent disciples of Prem Prayojan Prabhu. So I hear a lot of his lectures also. And he was giving this example in one of his classes. And I found that really fascinating, because if you are speaking to someone who's new to Krishna consciousness or has some kind of interest, it's a very easy way to illustrate how our practical experience is showing, how our practical experience is contrary to our belief. Yes, it is said we are bound to this material world because of three things: the belief that we are the enjoyers, proprietors and controllers. Yes? So if we can show people through practical methods how this is not true, then it will help that person understand. So I thought this was a great example. We think we are the controllers, we can't even control what's going on within our own bodies. Yes? So I started using that in my discussions with people. Obviously, the devotees, they already understand we are not these controllers, but for people who are trying to understand why Vaishnavas, the devotees of the Lord, object to anyone who thinks he is the controller, this is a simple way to illustrate. If you think you're the controller, and many years ago I met a person in the ISKCON Chennai temple in India. He used to be a big follower of Sai Baba, the one with the afro hair, as you may know, Prabhu said, if you know. There used to be this God man in South India. He had this afro kind of hairstyle, but hugely popular. He had followers all over the world. He did a lot of good charitable work, but his followers used to call him God. So one of his followers, at some point he started thinking deeply about this. And then he approached this God man and he asked, your followers claim you're God, then why are you using the bathroom every day? So he was asked to leave the ashram and get out of there for daring to challenge the master. So then he was going around looking for God, and then he found devotees of Krishna in ISKCON. And then was introduced to the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, and he became a devotee. So he was explaining his experience, and he said, if someone claims to be God, at the very least he should have control of his own body. Yes? God controls his entire cosmic manifestation. So if someone calls himself God but cannot even control his own body, what kind of a controller is that? Yes, Prabhu.
It's the Leela. It's the Leela. That's what they would say.
They say that.
So then when you say that back,
We just say Hare Krishna and move on. If we are enjoyers, alright, if there is a Leela, yes, the controller, they don't want to control their own bodies, it's their Leela. What about being the enjoyer? God is the supreme enjoyer, yes? So why is this person suffering from disease? Is his Leela to suffer?
but Krishna also is having some pain and the gopis has to put the dust.
Nice. So Prabhu is putting all his book distribution experience to test my knowledge.
Also, he got
Does
so
anybody have a counter argument to that? I don't know what to say. Krishna Kumar, can you help me?
They usually have to say that you're also God. Once they can't be God,
Yeah, of course.
they say you are also God. We all have.
Oh, yeah. It's horrible.
So that's. And then once they say that, then you can say Hare Krishna. Please say my own.
Well, you wanted to say
I
something?
was just thinking the difference of having done books distribution to this extent or anything like that, but my always think if someone claims to be God is like they lift a mountain on their left hand. Because God can do that. Can we do that? You can do that.
Yes.
I want to do this, and who you got the claim to ask me this? You know what I'm saying?
Yes, people have all kinds of crazy ideas. In fact, quite honestly,
so Hanuman also lifted the mountain. One by
yes.
There was one time I've been looking for you everywhere. It's so nice to meet you.
Yes. I remember growing up when I was in high school or probably this was college. There were two different godmen in Chennai, my hometown. And each was claiming to be God. So there's this guy who claimed to be God. So there's the other one who claimed to be God. And there was this TV channel who decided to cash in. So they arranged for a meeting between these two to decide who really was God. And these two were going at each other, just trading insults and on television. The producers were just looking for a way to make a quick buck, make some money. And they got it, these two people were going after each other and all the viewers tuned in to look at the spectacle. So all these crazy things are happening. That's why knowledge is light and ignorance is darkness. So these books can illuminate the darkness within and dispel the darkness within people's hearts by actually giving them real knowledge. Because growing up, I had some idea about God. Everyone had some idea about God. Everybody had a certain definition for God. Yes, God is a supreme energy. God is one who pervades everything. God is just a figment of our imagination. So many different views. But who really is God? Scripture tells us, Parashar Muni has given us a perfect definition of God. One who possesses all six opulences in unlimited quantities. He is God. So that is the definition. So that is knowledge. So if someone claims to be God, we ask to have all these six opulences in unlimited quantities. Nobody does. Only Krishna does. So we call him God. So knowledge is light. So we must propagate this knowledge far and wide. And that's why these books are the law books for all humanity for thousands of years to come. That's why Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he told Srila Prabhupada, if you get some money, you print books. In fact, I said this in the class not too long ago. When the Bhagbazar temple was being built in Calcutta, Srila Saraswati Thakur, he instructed his disciples to not use too much concrete in the walls, make them thin. And his disciples protested. They said, Gurudev, the walls have to be strong. Why are you instructing us to use less concrete? Saraswati Thakur's answer, Srila Saraswati Thakur's answer. He said, if ever we are short of money and resources to print books, we'll scrape out this concrete, take the bricks out, sell the bricks, and print books. He was illustrating to his disciples the paramount importance of book publishing and distribution. By using this graphic example, he was telling his disciples, this is our goal. So he said, don't use too much concrete. So if we have to get the bricks out and sell them and print books, we will do that. So he was telling his disciples that this is our business. So such an important endeavor. And in fact, it's because of these books that ISKCON has grown to what it has become today. Because book distributors like the two of you distributed books all over the world, people were convinced of this philosophy, they came, they joined and then made the movement what it is today. So Srila Saraswati Thakur's instruction to Prabhupada was, if you get some money, you print books. So it's very important. Yes, Prabhu.
Yesterday was a very amazing circumstances because first of all it was Nirjala Ekadashi and Krishna Kumara ordered 144 ladus and then we were going door to door to Muslim distribute those ladus and for them it was Eid. It's like, as Prabhu told me, it's like Janmashtami for them. And then they had all those like traditional dress and the men they have the sword and the belt and they have like sometimes some hat and the tradition they go like to their family house and they eat candy and like some things. saw like she were giving them prasada. They sometimes they take books, sometimes they give something from their fridge or like some, and then even like some things, sometimes like some flour or some lemongrass herbs, and then it was just like amazing. And then at the end they invited us into their own.
Is that right?
And then we went, and it was like a sofa. It was like imagine like a sofa, but it's like a big sofa that makes the whole room, but everyone had a seat in the sofa. And then we just walked in, and then, like they smoke like cigarette, and they chew like some tobacco, and then they have like they drink like some like soft drink, and then and they just. Krishna Kumar just starting to talking to them, and I asked question, what is Eid, and then we started to like not argument, but it's just like presenting like what you're eating meat and things like this.
Yeah.
And then Krishna Kumar expertly like he explained the philosophy and he avoided any friction with them. And then at some point it was like you look like the priest, you look the one with the gray right at the end. You look like the most scholarly man, and then he greeted everyone like greeted each other, and then it was amazing. It was one guy, his mother was from India and his dad was from Middle East, so then he was like mixed both, and then the grandpa was like they call him the Godfather. Like the movie, the movie, they say he's like the Godfather, and he really looks like a really soft person. And then we started like talking to them. We just at some point we go out, and it's just like unbelievable, like the situation. Like can we have food and water? No, we're fasting, no water. And then they're just like, oh, okay, I respect you. That's good. It's for God, and for them they fast because to remember the poor people they didn't eat. So the whole situation was just like out of this world. You think of those people. There was one guy, oh my god, that was so funny. We did the whole neighborhood, and we didn't do him, but he was on the porch, like waiting in his chair. And then one lady we come meet her, and then she told us, no, I don't want Sanadu, but him, he would like some. And then we didn't pay attention, we didn't go directly to him, we just finished the whole block, and then finally we end up like at his house. Prabhu, we have a picture, you have to show it, it's amazing. I have the whole tray, aluminum tray of laddu.
Where did you get the laddus from?
From
Oh,
Bhaktin's Brook.
Oh, very nice.
Actually, she'll be initiated by a spiritual master at the end of the month.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, in Bhakti Center.
Oh, wow.
And then she's like a pastry chef, I think Wolf, she said. And then it's like this tray, and then I just give one, and then he's like kind of like chubby, like a kind of gluton, you would say. And then I give one, he's like super happy, and then I give another one, I give another one, I give another one, and then this guy is
He was actually eating it?
No, in his hand, he was trying to carry, and then, oh my god, I did ask him, he was not speaking, he was from Lebanon, he was not speaking English. I asked him, can we take a picture? And then, because those books are sponsored, so we have the freedom also to just give them, or if we think they're sincere. So then we just gave him the book. We were not able to establish a communication, like to give a donation, he didn't understand. But the picture is just amazing. It's just him on one hand, like a mountain of laddu. And around my shoulder here, he has the book, and then we're taking pictures.
But his expression was like Jagannath's eye.
Yeah.
So every time we stacked another laddu on his hand, we said, Jai Jagannath! Jai Jagannath!
Yeah. And there was yesterday we met he's running. Last year he ran for
Congress. State representative.
state representative. And then oh my god, we come at his sports like these kids, because they have kids everywhere. Oh, and actually that's my question. I forgot about it, but that's my question I want to ask you. Because those Muslim kids, they really take up to Islam. Like really, like their parents, most of them are diabetes in the Middle East, and we didn't know that. But because because it's so hot, they don't do exercise and they eat a lot of rice and bread. So a lot of them are diabetic, and their parents forbid their child from eating sugar. I was very impressed, like in a good way. I was like, wow, this is like, they don't like, because of course if you give one time and after that it's like you're starting a problem with the sugar thing, but so they forbid their children from eating sugar. But and then they take up, their children take up Islam, and they make so many children that basically they preach within their family. And it's like, how many children you have? 6. How many are in the family? They have minimum 3 children every house, you know. So my question is, how can we, like, as devotees, kind of, I mean, I'm speaking from charity, I'm thinking like, how can, because we see a lot that, like, devotees' children, they just like, you know, I accept Krishna as God, but, you know, they keep kind of aloof. But the Muslim seems to do a very good job on that point. Maybe you have some tips on how we can.
Yeah,
So you're a good example. I saw your son Gopal.
Yeah, 3 kids.
right.
Yeah.
See, for me, the big advantage was I always lived close to the temple, so my kids grew up in this temple.
Okay.
Yeah, from little age, they'll be running all over this place.
Okay.
So they grew up from birth in this ambience. But somebody asked Romapad Maharaj a similar question many years ago. Romapad Swami Maharaj. You know Romapad Swami Maharaj. So it was the suburbs. And Maharaj just gave a very simple answer. He said, if you follow perfectly, if you practice perfectly, they will follow. So rather than, your words may have some effect, but actions speak louder than words.
Wow.
If you set a perfect example for them to follow, they will follow. So we must tell them, we must counsel them, but your actions will have a greater impact.
Yeah.
So if you apply yourself sincerely to this practice and set a perfect example for them to follow, then they will take up this process. We see a lot of parents have kids that are not only following this but initiated. In our congregation, there are people that are kids that were initiated at 15, 16 years old. We have a pujari here who's only, how old is Radharaman Punjabi Hari? 19, I think.
19 told us.
But he was second initiated, but he was second initiated at 16, I think, 16 or 17.
Yeah.
So, we have many devotees like that. Dharmapala Narasingha, he was initiated by Jayapataka Swami Maharaj at, I think, 15 or 16 years of age. So, when the parents follow carefully, then there's a good chance the kids will accept it. There's no guarantees, but there's a good chance. But I want to go back to Krishna Kumar Prabhu's point, which is we do what we are doing to please Krishna, to work for Krishna's pleasure. That is bhakti. So what happens after that, we just do our best, but what happens beyond that is not under our control. We just leave it to Kunja Bihari to decide. Obviously, we want our kids, we want the children of the congregation to follow the footsteps of all devotees. We want them to become devotees as well. But there are factors which are not under our control. So we do the best we can and we leave the rest to Krishna. Our focus is how can we please Radharani, how can we please Kunja Bihari. So we do the best we can.
Yeah, and that's a good answer.
And hopefully the chips will all fall in place. So that was a very nice answer, Prabhu. Thank you. And thank you
Let us
to
all put our efforts as in Mahabharata also. Arjuna put efforts. Krishna empowered, but Arjuna put efforts. If he did not put efforts, why will Krishna empower? We put our efforts from our side to that one. Yeah.
That's also true. We can always increase the quality of our service, so we try to become steady all the time.
Thank you, Bruce. Thank you for bringing about such a lively exchange with your wonderful questions.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for this. Shrimadbhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada.